Hello everyone, welcome back to the Alchemist Workshop projects, and today we pass another milestone. This is part 20. Okay, so today, as planned, we are gonna have a look at fluid simulation, so let's get right to it. I'm gonna add a sphere, and just in case, we've seen smoke and fire last time, and this works almost the same. So let's start with this sphere, and I'm gonna go to the object panel, choose quick effects, and choose quick liquid. Okay, so this way we have, like last time, Blender has added a cube that will be our domain, and this is the object from which the liquid is spilled. So I'm gonna just press play now to see how it works. And see, this is the liquid. Okay. So at the moment it looks like just small dots, and that's exactly it. Okay. And so from now on, what are the different options that are offered to us? We can see that at the moment this is the volume of the sphere that makes up the volume of water that is simulated inside our scene. Okay, and so this, we can have a look at that. We have it as a type flow, as last time. Flow type is liquid, and we can change that like from geometry to inflow, like we did for the fire. And let's represent that exactly like we did for the fire, and let's play it now. And you can see that the water flows from the sphere and then doesn't stop unless the sphere is covered by the water. Okay? First we had something like a water bomb, and now we've got something like a water tap that just makes the water flow from it. Okay, so we've got that. And now there was another type in our flow object, which was outflow. What I'm gonna do here is duplicate this sphere, make it like that, smaller, and keep it here. Okay. And this, I'm gonna give it the type outflow. Okay. The flow source is still set to mesh, and let's simulate that again to see what it does. I don't know if you see it. Okay, look at the direction of the flow here and the particles that we can see. Okay, some of the particles are going inside this sphere and then disappears, like you can see the flow here. So this means that this is like absorbing the water. It's an exit where the water leaves. Okay, so that's the type outflow. From now on, we need to see our water, of course. So in the domain settings, you've got a bit below the mesh category, and this, once it is activated, we need to launch a new bake. I'm gonna change that from roleplay to all, and then choose bake all. Okay, so now we've got the basics of our fluid simulation. Now we are in our scene. As usual, I have already prepared the corresponding sequence. So sequence number 8 over here, I have like a very slow camera movement toward the alchemist's the chemistry kit. Okay, as per the storyboard. Now what we can do is select our chemistry kit, because we only need it, and then isolate it. Okay, so we've got that like this. I can now create, let's say, a small icosphere, because then I will have the simplest object. Okay, like that. But then scale it down so that it fits inside here. Okay, just like that to start. Now I can go and create objects, quick effects, and quick liquid. Okay, this way I have my domain, and if we are to do a test, I'm not sure I applied the scale of this. Let's remember to change this to our current range. Okay, and now let's do a test. Okay, you might have seen it. What's happening here is that there is absolutely nothing being simulated. Okay, we can't see this kind of bluish flow that goes out of the sphere. And why is this? You might have seen this here. This represents the smallest area that is calculated, and this is affected by this resolution subdivision number. If I set this higher, you can see the cube is smaller because this space is divided 34 times, and that's the resulting cube. Okay, it's always a cube. And why the simulation didn't take place is that because this object is actually smaller than the current cube here. So in order for this to be calculated, we need to make this cube small enough to fit inside this object. So first I'm gonna start with modifying the domain like that. I'm gonna affect the scale, and now we've got our cube like this. Okay, and now we need to set this resolution subdivision number high enough. I'm gonna do and choose 96, and now let's see. You can see there is something here. Okay, the simulation takes place. Okay, perfect. Have a look at this object. It's set as an effector, but as we can see, the particles are going through it. Why is that? It's the exact same problem that I've just mentioned. This cube is already small, but the thickness of our object is too small to be taken into account by the simulation. So what we can do is doing like we did for the fire, is creating another object. I'm gonna add a UV sphere, but then reduce its resolution and then scale it down to fit our object right in here, just like that. And what I will do now is give it a thickness, but toward the outside. So if I add a solidify modifier, at first it creates a thickness inside the object. Okay, but if I change that to a negative value, you can see now we've got an outer shell. If I remove the top from my object, okay, it's open. So let's have a look at how the simulation reacts to that. It's whoop, like that. It looks like it's okay now, and in fact going at the bottom of this. Okay, so that's pretty good. So that's the way we are gonna set the entire thing like that. Okay, so let's finish the right simulation, at least for this. I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna change the type here from geometry to inflow, so that now we've got something that will just pour water into our object like that. That's looking perfect. Maybe I can set it back to 96 just for the purpose of this tutorial. At the end we will pump it up for the final simulations. Okay, and now we've got something, but it's moving a bit once it reaches the top, okay? But maybe we can do something else. It is to set an initial velocity for our flow, and you can see toward the normal from the source or in the 3 x, y, and z axis. I can set like a 3 meter per second, let's say 1 meter per second in the z axis, and that might help to have something that looks like it's bubbling. See, at the end, looks like it's bubbling, bloop, 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 like that. So, I think we have a grasp most of the things needed for us to do this part of the simulation. Okay? So, I invite you to use this system in all of these things from now on. And for the next sequence, where the flow of water goes just through all of the tubes, what we can do is set up a particle system with a curve guide that will just guide particles inside those tubes, and we make the particle to look like water. So hope this was helpful and that you will manage to create the simulation for these shots. I'll see you in the next part. What we are gonna do from now on is that I think I've given you all the tools to finish on your own these projects. I'm gonna work on my side on everything which is left and needed, which are the chandeliers smoke and fire simulation, adding the book as well, and then the lightning simulation. It's tweaking, but it's almost done. So from now, tutorials will be a bit shorter, I think. I will show you maybe a few tips along the way that are needed to complete the project that you might pump in. If you have any question, again, don't hesitate to leave a comment and I'll gladly answer them. Otherwise, I wish you a great day, a great week, a great life as usual, and I'll see you next time. Bye.